Hey everyone, TSW here. Thank you for joining me in this video. I'm going to be talking about why I play World of Warcraft and my story, how I began, what I really liked about WoW, maybe some of the things I didn't like so much, my journey from beginning to where I am now. Hope you enjoy and thumbs up if you do. Thanks. So when did I start playing World of Warcraft? Well, it was the Burning Crusade. Yes, I didn't play any of vanilla. Please don't shoot me, vanilla gods that you are. So I started playing, I think Zul'Aman had just been released. Here's the login screen, some of that dope music. I'm sure if you played during TBC, the nerd chills are real. The nostalgia is insane. Anyway, what got me into WoW? I had seen an episode of this TV show, you may have heard of it, it's called South Park. I was kind of into South Park before I played WoW, so when I saw the episode finally, I was taken over by it. The fact that you could play a video game to this extreme level, I had never thought of, never seen, it was just not a thing. And then when I saw these guys playing World of Warcraft to an extreme level, I was like, wow, you can play a game with other people online and you can just beat the crap out of each other. Wow, I want to play this game. Obviously, it takes it to an extreme where Cartman's like taking a shit all over his mum and his poo bucket thing. It's great, basically. Don't take it too seriously, the episode that is, but my goodness, did it get me into WoW, and I've never ever looked back even for a second, because once you enter WoW, it's so, well, for me at least, it was like nothing else I had ever played. The nearest RPG I'd played was Pokemon. I wasn't big into RPGs. If you told me that I was going to be playing a game with spells, wizards and stuff, I'd have been like, that sounds like the nerdiest game I've ever seen or heard of. I don't want any part of that. But once you break in, get a subscription, log on, wow. I mean, it's unreal. It's such a cool game, and like I say, it's like nothing I had ever played before. So you can see here I'm making a character. And don't lie, don't say that you didn't spend half an hour trying to make your character look as cool as possible. Personally, with the Night Elves, I mean, I made a Night Elf because there was the main reference to any class in the WoW South Park episode was Hunter. So naturally, I had to make a Hunter. And Stan's dad in the episode is a human hunter. Now, back in the day, you couldn't be a human hunter, so I had to settle for the next best thing, the next human-looking race. So I went for a Night Elf. Originally, my character name was Shadowstone, but then I got to about level 12 or so, and I started doing leatherworking and skinning, and for some reason I couldn't progress with my skinning. I think it was because I was skinning too high level mobs or something, and I got kind of stuck, and instead of trying to work out what it was that I had done wrong, I instead made a new hunter and called it Hugo I Am, my real name being Hugo and I Am being at the end because I'm just so cool. So this is the starting zone as it would have been when I first logged on. This isn't original footage, by the way. I'll try and point out when it is original footage because I've got a reasonable amount of it recorded on YouTube somewhere. So yeah, I mean, you got the quest log where it's all written out slowly. The quest log was all written out slowly until I hit level 70, so that's always good to know. So a lot of noob things happened, needless to say. But once you log into WoW for the first time back in the day, when I hadn't played any online game, seeing other people in the environment was insane. It was such a cool thing that I had never experienced with any other game. And I didn't play Hunter for long. I got my second Hunter to about level 20, and then re-rolled Warrior. So as I'm playing an actual human race now, I try to make the character look as similar to me as possible, with my original name being The Strong War, because apparently I had no imagination when I was about 15 when I first started playing WoW. Yeah. So I had a really dumb haircut, but I had fun playing Warrior. The reason I went Warrior is because I basically didn't understand mana to the full extent, and it was bizarre to me, essentially. So I knew that Warriors only had health points to worry about, and most importantly, they didn't have mana. So that was my thought process entirely for making a Warrior. That and some level 40 in the guild that I was in said that Warriors were good. He was a level 40 hunter as well or something. So naturally he knew everything about the game, because compared to me, I knew nothing. So, old Stormwind, whenever I show clips of old Stormwind, people in the comments are like, "Ah, old Stormwind," or "Ah, old Ogrimmar," or wherever. So that's always nice. So just getting the flyover to the starting zone is an epic adventure in itself. You get the dude giving you a bit of the backstory. I never paid too much attention to him. Sorry, bro. But it's great the way that you slowly zoom in to your character over the shoulder, and then bam, you're in. It doesn't just throw you in the game, it gives you a nice little gentle push. So here you are in the game, talk to the dude with the exclamation mark over his head and get going. It's a very intuitive game initially. There are obviously certain times where you can go off the beaten track and just get lost and have no idea what's going on. But then once you understand what a Hearthstone does, you can get back to civilization fairly quickly. So that's kind of cool. But it's just great. I mean, I like the artwork of WoW. I really like personally when they redid the races and made them look a lot more modern. They look really Pixar-y in my opinion, and I just like the old style, because for me, a Tauren looks like a Tauren in the old style, whereas now it looks like it's trying too hard. But I understand that the overwhelming majority love the new character layouts and how they look, so I don't mind them changing it if everyone else likes it. So this is the very first WoW video I ever made. So I've got my epic sword from where's it from? Zul'Farrak, that's the instance where you get the two halves and put it together to make a level 50 epic. I think I'm level 51 here. I've got my Imperial shoulders, my matching guild blue tabard, and I'm feeling pretty cool. So I thought, hey, let's download Fraps, make a 30-second video of me with Alt-Z so you can't see my UI running around in the Draenei city. And now we have a clip of me dinging level 70. And yes, I'm using the in-game microphone communication thing. I only ever used it for a few months, but it got the job done. None of my friends and I liked typing, so the next best thing was buy a cheap microphone, 99p from eBay including shipping, and get a microphone and talk to ourselves. So yeah, level 70, woohoo! And what do you do when you're a higher level than all your friends who play WoW? That's right, you boost them through low level instances. So here we are in Scarlet Monastery. Oh, also one fun thing, how long do you guys think it took me to level 1 to 70? So that's the slash played, so how long it took me in game time to get from level 1 to 70. I'll reveal it at the end of the video, but if you want to make your guesses in the comments section down below, it'll be quite interesting, at least for me, to see what you guys think it took me. So here we are doing some more boosting. I've got the Gladiator Season 1 shoulders and shield. Now these are really cool because there was an Ultrac Valley weekend and I had no idea what a Battleground weekend was. I had no idea it was every weekend, and so I did lots and lots of AV in one single weekend and I got exalted and I got lots of honour. So I bought myself a nice epic shield once I hit 70, as well as the shoulders, which would serve me for a very long time. Speaking of gear, here's a screenshot which I found. Most of my gear is badge or reputation. Let's look at how much of it actually drops from raid bosses. Helmet, badge gear. Neck, reputation. Shoulders, PvP. Cloak, badge. Chest, badge. Wrists, badge. Sword, 5-man MGT heroic. Shield, reputation. Gun, crafted. Bottom trinket, 5-man heroic. Top trinket, MGT heroic. my lowest ring, reputation. My second ring, I think, is badge ring. My feet from Karazhan, Nightbane, the DPS ones, lol. Legs, badge. Belt, badge. Gloves, badge. What is this? None of it is from actual raiding. The main reason behind this is because I was in a Kara guild for a long time. I didn't really know that you could leave a guild once you joined one, so I kind of just sat in this guild farming Kara every week for a very long time. A lot longer than I should. I definitely should have joined a tier 5 guild a lot sooner. And the interesting thing is the badge gear is a lot better than the Kara gear, and a lot of tier 5 gear as well. But don't let my gear fool you. I did raid. Here's a screenshot. I kid you not. This is one of my screenshots. It looks like one of those newbie screenshots which are over the top or deliberately made to look ridiculous. But no, at one stage this was my legitimate UI. As you can see, not a lot of the buttons are keybound. Yeah. I wasn't you can see most of my buttons are, well, most of the useful ones are with keybinds, but the most noteworthy one without is probably Thunderclap, as well as Last Stand and Shield Wall, the important cooldowns. So yeah, this is my UI at some point. I thought it looked pretty radical. I've got the graphs and stuff from Recount, and oh my goodness, my frame rate during raids was diabolical. It was about 2 or 1 FPS. I remember when Wrath of the Lich King patch had hit, doing Black Temple, I would charge into a boss and my screen would go black for about 5 seconds, and then it would come back. I could see the boss. Fingers crossed I'd still have aggro. I'd be on about 1 or 2 FPS, and then about 5 or 10 seconds later I'd get another black screen for 5 seconds. This is how I raided 25 mans back in the Burning Crusade. Not even exaggerating at this point. So eventually, yes, Wrath of the Lich King came out. I leveled pretty much on my own with my DPS gear, which was okay at this point. Had the sword from Zulaman, the two-hander from the last boss. And yeah, it was pretty good. Going into Wrath of the Lich King, I knew exactly what I wanted to do in the game. I suppose during a bit of Black Temple progression, I really started getting more serious about the game. I got a new computer pretty much at the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King, so now we can actually have some more legitimate video recordings of real encounters. One of the best things that I've ever done for WoW is getting a new computer. Going from minimum graphics with about 10 FPS in a city to maximum graphics with 60. Oh my goodness. Best day of my life. And also being able to record footage and upload it to YouTube, because that was great. I didn't have that good of a guild for Uldar, and so I didn't progress on a lot of the high-end hard modes, I think they were called back then. But I joined a good guild at the beginning of Trial of the Crusader, and we went back and did some of the Uldar hard modes, and they were really, really fun. I'd love to have done them at the actual point in time when they were the progression raids. But yeah, a new Barak, great encounter. I really liked it. And doing it on hard mode and trying to do it without anybody in the raid dying, that was fun. I'm not sure if we ever did that. I think we may have only done it on 10 man in the end. Oh, look what clip I just found.
Come on, kill him. Kill shot with tricks, go. Evasion's up.
Nice work, guys.
Yes, come on, kill him. Insane, baby. Yes!
We are insane.
He's not down yet. Oh, yeah. Yes! Finally!
And it's moments like these which, I really like playing World of Warcraft. There's a new encounter, you've never done it before, you start wiping about 95%, then a few weeks later, of some dedication and nice strategies, you manage to kill the boss. It's a really nice feeling, and you enjoy it with 9 or 24 other players. It's great. There aren't words that can describe how fun and exciting it is to kill a progression encounter for the first time. And we all know what comes after Trial of the Crusader if you're into your PvE. And that is Icecrown Citadel, where we have, of course, the Lich King himself. And this was great. I mean, probably my favourite guild I was ever in, Bad Company. I had 4 IRL friends and like 5 really close friends. We'd played with each other. I don't know how the guild kind of began. It was just kind of like, I almost want to say the popular people of the server, like the nice popular people who weren't like up their own arses and in the best guilds, but kind of like down to earth people who were all really nice. We kind of like got together and made some kind of guild, I suppose, and yeah, loved it. This was a really, really fun guild. We had not the best progression, but it was just the personalities and the people themselves were amazing.
Yes. Good job.
Where's my mouse?
Yes. Good job. Subscription right now. Yes,
So if you can't tell, we had a fantastic time in the guild, and that continued over to all normal modes in the first tier of Cataclysm. Yes, that's the name of the expansion, Cataclysm. I don't remember why, but the guild name changed to Entity. I don't know why, but this is one of the best times in WoW, where if you've got spare time on your hands in PvE, when an expansion first comes out, you can farm those 5-man heroics, get the reputation you need, and have some really, really sweet gear. So here I'm in a lot of blue gear because, well, a lot of people are in really bad gear, quite honestly. But I've been able to put the time in and do the heroics. Like I've got best in slot pre-raid helmet, I've got best in slot pre-raid chest, shield, sword, legs, feet, gloves, and oh, it's great when your first raid, you go there and damn, I've got some pretty good gear going into this encounter. And then eventually that guild died because the progression just wasn't there. So I think a few of us, me and my main IRL friend playing WoW, joined this guild, the Gnome Trotters, and this is the first time I'm actually tanking on Onyxia. There was another warrior tank who I actually still remember his name. It was Villiander. Anyway, this is my first time actually on the encounter because they'd been progressing with another warrior. Needless to say, I think that warrior basically stopped playing, or definitely wasn't taken to raids after this encounter, because if you don't know, for the Nefarian encounter on heroic at least, you need a pretty good warrior to be doing these ads. And again, this is my first time on this encounter, and basically I just tanked it like a boss. I'm not going to try and dilute it down, but basically it was a really fun encounter, and apparently I did it a lot better than the warrior that they had in there before. Bless his heart. But yeah, it's a really fun encounter because a lot of the time when you're a tank, you just kind of stand in front of the boss, and as long as you don't die, you might need to drag the boss over to the left, drag the boss over to the right, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. If you don't die, you're considered a good tank, whatever. Whereas this encounter, you could actually be like, yeah, I'm doing this like a boss. Or at least if it's your first attempt on the encounter and I wouldn't say perfect it because I didn't, but considering it was my first attempt doing it, I think I did it quite well. So the mechanic is you have to tank these ads and kite them away from like a fire beam ball that the boss does, and they get reanimated. They deal more damage the longer that they're alive, so you need to kite them. They don't get hit by fire. At least that's what I remember the encounter being, and you just pull them backwards. So I didn't do it perfectly, but I did it well enough for us to get the kill. Woohoo! So that was always fun. And obviously, I think we had a loot council. So I didn't even get the best in slot shield that dropped, even though I basically made us complete the encounter. Okay, I'm joking slightly. Obviously, everyone did their part. But yeah, it was great to go into an encounter for the very first time and just crush my job so well. And then eventually that guild died for whatever reason, or I think a few people left. Anyway, I left and joined a much more hardcore guild. I mean, during the Firelands time when I was there, we raided 6 days a week, which looking back is ridiculous. Anyway, here's our, I don't know, like 140 world kill on Belrock. I think we got, about 140, 130 was about our best progression kills in Firelands Heroic. And yeah, really cool encounter. I would definitely never be raiding 6 days a week again, because that's absurd. Even like I don't know, it's just weird. But yeah, great encounter. It was fun whilst I was in there, actually being able to do an encounter and not have people failing for stupid reasons. It was kind of like just solid attempts, every attempt, which is nice. I got a lot of gear in that guild as well. We had a feral druid and me, warrior tank. So I think I was, according to wowprogress.com, like 3rd best geared in Europe at one stage, which is pretty nice. Heroic Elgalon. So this is Mists of Pandaria. I loved this encounter. Visually, it was spectacular. I mean, just look at it. There's so much cool stuff going on. Oh my goodness. This and Alakir in Cataclysm, probably 2 of my favourite encounters. Yeah, it's great. Like, I don't even think it took us that long to kill it on Heroic, because there were still a couple of mechanics which I weren't 100% set on, just because we hadn't had the attempts on it. So this is in another guild. I know it sounds like I'm in a billion guilds, but I mean, guilds don't last forever, whatever. So this is, again, like I say, a really cool encounter. And I like the encounters, and there were lots of them at the end of Cataclysm, and I think going into Mists of Pandaria, that required a buttload of raid cooldowns for the last sort of 5% of the boss. And this one is definitely one of those, or even like 20% of the boss. For the last portion of the boss, you'd just be rolling raid cooldowns to stop everyone from dying. And it's a cool mechanic, instead of just having an enrage, which is a set timer, and then the boss just one-shots everybody, you could have something where the boss does AoE damage and then over time does more and more and more damage. He's going into the final phase where he does, guess what, a buttload of raid damage. Everyone needs to heal through, use their cooldowns, and just survive. Really nice encounter again. And yeah, I love it. It looks great, and it felt great doing the raid. Very enjoyable. And Mists of Pandaria, generally speaking, was pretty cool. There were a few bits here and there which I didn't like certain encounters which were a bit weird, but on the whole, I mean, it was very fun. And if you're in a good guild with fun people to play with, I don't see any reason why Mists of Pandaria wasn't good fun. Hey, and we're about to kill him. Yay. And also, I use my bonus loot thing and I get gear. The bonus loot thing isn't something that I was terribly fond of, but something that I was fond of was the environment PvE bosses, like just bosses that you can find wherever. This is a Galleon. What an amazing encounter. And I'm not speaking specifically about the boss itself, but rather the community that's required to kill him. You just pug it, you spam trade chat, you get people in. And this encounter in particular was amazing, or this kill rather, because there was, I think, the second world kill on Ragnaros Heroic was by a guild called Envy on the Horde side of this server. Now, they were trying to kill this boss, obviously, to get some gear. And I think it has like a 2-day respawn or something like that. So basically, all hardcore guilds want to kill this boss every single reset and just get free gear. But they wiped. I had a raid group of people as well, and after they wiped, we basically just stole the kill. Now I feel kind of bad about it looking back, because those hardcore guilds really are trying, and quite honestly, they need the gear more than we do. We're just random people. But it's fun nonetheless. There's a bit of PvP aspect in it. You know, they're trying to kill us from time to time. They'll try and zerg down the tanks, kill the healers. But generally speaking, it's such a fun encounter. And again, this kill, because we ninja'd the kill from basically the rank 2 guild in the world at this time, it was great feeling knowing that we just yoink, grabbed it. And for those of you who have been maybe following my channel for longer than a lot of other people, you may know that I quit playing WoW on retail servers during Mists of Pandaria, and that's, I wouldn't necessarily say anything to do with the game itself. I stopped playing with any real life friends, and the guild I was in at this point, where we're killing Blade Lord Tyak, I think is what it's called, on heroic mode, it wasn't that fun. You know, there were just people who were a lot more monotone. You know, I'm not necessarily blaming the people who I'm raiding with, but it didn't have the atmospheric awesomeness that previous guilds that I had been in had. And I basically, you know, just stopped playing WoW and had about a year break. But that's the last time I played retail WoW, because what I have been doing recently over like the last 2 years is been playing on private servers. So say what you will about private servers, and I may make a video going about the pros and cons of a private server, but basically as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, or near the beginning, I started playing World of Warcraft in the Burning Crusade, and I didn't clear every boss in Black Temple, did about half of it with severe nerfs and the Lich King patch, and I never even set foot really into Sunwell Plateau. So I'm now currently playing on a TBC server. It's called Archangel. I'll have the link in the description. And yeah, I'm progressing in Black Temple with a guild right now. And the atmosphere and the community is great, basically. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I am doing. I'm playing WoW on a private server because the community is there, the people are fun, and I'm having a good time. You know, ultimately, you play WoW recreationally because it's fun to do. And for me, it's fun when you're playing with other fun people and you know, you're having a good time. It doesn't matter necessarily if you kill the boss, because you're not a hardcore guild, as long as you're having fun and people are all, you know, chatting to each other, making jokes, and just getting along as a nice fun community themselves. There's, you know, 25 people or 30 people in the guild. I've also played on some vanilla servers as well to try and get a little bit of the vanilla experience. That one's called Nostalrius. It's a fairly recent one. I think it only opened up this year. I've got a level 60 warrior on there. Obviously, I'm tanking on both of them because that's what I like to do. Like, just talk about the background here. That Magtheridon kill. What a awesome kill. And that's what I'm talking about. You have, you know, fun interactions, fun boss kills. It's great. I mean, obviously, again, if you're having fun, play the game. If you're not having fun, do something else. Go outside. You don't have to play World of Warcraft all the time. And if you ever get bored, don't feel, you know, bad about taking a break. Feel good about taking a break. You know, you can't have too much of a good thing, and that's definitely true with World of Warcraft. So you can see in the background, here's our Blood Boil kill. This wasn't a progression raid. I just recorded it as it was my first Blood Boil kill, having not killed him in retail. So this is progression for me and me alone, and that's cool. So currently we're now progressing on Mother Shiraz, which is fun. And you know, I like doing a little bit of PvP here and there on this 70 server, and you know, probably most of all, just recording cool videos like this. Kill videos, get a bit of just awesomeness going on with the video editing. Get some Illidan in the background, some pretty funky music. It's just cool. It's got a really nice feel about it, doesn't it? Or at least I think so. And then zooming out from the council room, zooming out and up into, this is the room where you kill Illidan. So hopefully this guild will stay together and we can get some Illidan footage on the way, because that'd be great, really. That's kind of what I'm going for. Yeah, hopefully main tanking and killing some Illidan. Boom, boom. So hopefully that is to come in the future. So that's kind of, we've come full circle. I started playing WoW in the Burning Crusade. You know, we quickly went into Wrath of the Lich King, started playing WoW more seriously, went into Cataclysm, got some, you know, top world 130 kills, then relaxed slightly, had some fun encounters in Mists of Pandaria. I stopped playing with my IRL friends, and then it became less interesting. The guilds that I were in were not quite as engaging, I think, and didn't have the social atmosphere. And now after about a year break from WoW totally, I'm back playing on private servers, and the community is just as good as it was when I first started playing. So this video has gone on for much longer than I intended, but when you're passionate about something, you just kind of just get it done. And this video is one of those things. I love playing WoW, it's great, but I mean, as long as you're playing with other great people, and I've said that a few times during this video, but I mean, that's honestly how I feel. So if you've got any feedback at all, please let me know in the comments below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and thank you ever so much for sticking for over half an hour, 31 minutes of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Cheers, bye.